Imagine never having to pay property taxes again. Doesn't that sound amazing? And if Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, has his way, that's what will be coming in the state of Florida. And so in this video, we're going to talk about what his plan is and what the overall impacts of that plan will be, because it's not all just perfect. There are some things that need to be considered when we're talking about a massive plan like this one. Now, property taxes have been around for a very long time. We're all used to paying those if you are a homeowner. Here is the deal. Ron DeSantis comes out and he's like, this doesn't make any sense. I buy a piece of property that effectively I am then paying rent to the government forever. So even if you pay cash, you still have to pay them. So do you actually own the property, or does the government own the property and you're just paying them rent to be able to utilize it? And I think it's a fairly logical argument. So from a practical perspective, this sounds really nice for a homeowner. Hey, my tax bill, let's say that it's $7,000 a year, is something that I don't have to pay in the future. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows with this plan, because the experts are saying that if the state moves forward with this plan, there would be a $40 billion, I've seen up to a $43 billion estimate in terms of a shortfall in tax revenue that needs to be made up from somewhere. And so what I have for us now is I have a trim notice. So when you pay your taxes, you're going to get a trim notice, and it will outline exactly what your millage rate is, and it will also outline the types of things that it's going to, that the revenue is going to. So we can see here in this tax bill, we've got a Collier County general revenue. Okay, so that's the top line item. If you're in a city, there will also be City of Naples or City of Fort Myers or City of Cape Coral as a line item as well. And then this also funds, property taxes fund the schools. So we see the public school, the local board, and then the public school by state law. So that is the next largest item on here, are funding the public schools. Then we get into the municipalities. So an all hazards protection district, unincorporated MSTU. I should know what that is, but I don't. Also, the local county library gets funded on the tax bill. Something to consider. Where does that money come from? Water management district. So a lot of the water management that comes into here, that represents about $100 on the tax bill. Then we have mosquito control, hyacinth control, the fire district. So the fire department gets revenue from this, as well as an inland navigation district. I don't know why they're getting $17 a year, but the reality is that we have some critical services that are funded when it comes to the property taxes. And so where does that money come from? It cannot just disappear, or else there would be no law and order. There would be no firefighters that are coming to our rescue when we've got emergency situations. And so this is something that needs to be considered. One of the proposals that I have seen is doubling the sales tax. And so if we double the sales tax in the state of Florida and we go from, say, 6.5% or 6% up to 12 or 13%, depending on where you are, that's generally where the sales tax is, that's going to have a substantial impact. That's going to make the cost of living significantly higher, especially for people who are renters, right? So from a rental perspective, that is a real challenge, in that the cost of living, the groceries, the registering a vehicle, all of these things would get significantly more expensive for the end consumer. Now, on the positive side, what this would do for real estate is it would make investment very enticing in the state of Florida. This would have a substantial impact on pricing. There's already a lot of talk around pricing and being too high for a lot of people to enter the market. And if we take away one of the biggest expenses on the property, which is property taxes, then all of a sudden, what is that going to do to pricing? It's going to make the housing more expensive in the state of Florida. Because if people don't have to put the money towards taxes, they can put that money to a bigger mortgage payment. And so therefore you can afford more house in that situation, and likely prices will go up to reflect what's going on there. Now, we already know that the state of Florida has had a significant investment into the School of Choice program, to where they're incentivizing parents to send their children to private schools and utilizing funds funds to go that route as opposed to funding the public schools. So that could be one move that they double down on that continues to make the public schooling requirements smaller and go more the route of private schooling. So what is the right answer to this dilemma? And there are new studies that have started since Governor DeSantis has gone on this mission to eliminate the property taxes in Florida. They're going to get into a lot of the details and understanding the impacts that this will have at all levels, because we've got to understand that the majority of those taxes go to the local municipality. They go to the local county, the local fire district, the local police department, the local schools. And so with that being the case, if the governor of the state says we're getting rid of these, then we have a bigger issue on a local level where it's going to put each of the different counties into some kind of a turmoil to figure out where the revenue is going to come from. And so I want to hear from you. Do you think that this is a good plan? Do you think that this is going to backfire? Is this just a publicity stunt? I would like to know what you have to say about that in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel and have a blessed day. Thank you.